All right, before we get to weather, we wanted to talk about this story. A pediatric nutritionist is now saying that you can train your kids not to be picky eaters. So Mandy Soccer says it all starts in the womb. So, all right, the battle's already lost for me. Lindsey, you still have a fighting chance.
Talk to the womb
Okay, in the third trimester, eat foods that have mint, vanilla, and garlic to help introduce your baby to new flavors.
For heaven's sake.
Like, okay.
That doesn't make, okay. Then during breastfeeding, introduce leafy greens to your diet. Then when they're young, expose them to a variety of flavors and don't worry about sweetening sour foods. And if you're out for dinner, she says, scrap the kids' menu that often has bland food like pasta and chicken nuggets and let them explore the adult menu.
So what's funny about this is like you guys are all too late.
Yeah,
so
no.
It's basically a story to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say, though, like, I read so many books about nutrition and eating as parents. So many parents do, right? And I've got a very sensitive stomach, so I was really, really interested to see how that would affect Jack, and we were really methodical about how we introduced foods. And I read somewhere that it can take up to 35, if not more, tries to have your child like a certain food. So if they don't like it, keep trying. And it's terrible and it sucks and you waste so much food and so much goes into the compost and it's frustrating, but just keep trying because eventually they'll like it.
No, I tried and they like it and then I give it to the exact same meal to them again and they hate it.
I literally said, Walker loves avocados.
Until he doesn't.
And then all of a sudden he doesn't love, when did this happen? Who did he talk to that told him?
See, while you're reading those books, our kids are reading books, How to Mess with My Parents.
Right. But that's just like,
somebody gave me this advice because I would stress about like who's not eating and whatever else. And they said, listen, by the time they hit teenagers, they're going to want to eat everything in your house. So don't sweat it.
See, that's not necessarily the case. One of my brother's best friends growing up was an embarrassment to his parents because he would only eat, he'd only eat like 3 things. And he was very academic about it. He's like, I will not eat anything. I don't like anything else. I want a burger with no ketchup. I want noodles with no sauce. And I want a steak. Like those were the 3 things. He wouldn't eat vegetables or anything. And now he's a full-grown adult and very successful who only eats those things. He could have anything in the world, and he chooses those 3 things. So I don't know that, I think some people are just hardwired that way.
I love that because I hear that and I see sense of self. Sense of confidence and ability to say no.
Oh my gosh, no.
I know, I love it, because I was the same way, honestly. I liked very few foods. My parents would always make a meal that had one thing I'd like. So for example, we'd have beef stroganoff and I would eat mushrooms. And that was all I would eat for dinner. Or we would have stir fry and I would eat plain white rice with soy sauce sometimes, often on the side so I could like push my rice into it. I was very picky.
Like exciting stuff, right?
Yeah, and now I like a whole bunch of foods, but I like what I like.
And you tried it 35 times.
Right.
That's right.
I did.
You know the other thing that works? If you cut it into cubes and put a toothpick in it, somehow that is magic.
It's true.
It's true.
So true.
You make food fun.
Yeah.
And you cut it into little faces. You do the ketchup in the age they are so they can dip whatever. Yeah.
See, my mom was Scottish, there was none of that.
No matter, there's certain foods just aren't fun.
Can you imagine your dad
Fiddleheads are
cutting
not
faces
fun.
to your cheese?
That's true.
They're not fun. It's a mean food.
I never seen a fiddlehead until this weekend.
Oh, you don't want to.
Curly, and I didn't even.
There's some chefs who tell you they're not. Turn and walk the other way.
No, they're delicious. Don't listen to Ben.
I don't know. See, people say that about what's the oil that tastes like mushroom?
Truffle oil?
Truffle oil.
Yeah, see, people say that's good, and I think that's weird. That's like feet to me.
It's too much of it. People use it all the time.
No comment.
See, picky eater at the table, clearly.